The cold wind whispered ominously through the skeletal trees that surrounded the dilapidated mansion on Raven Hill. Abandoned for decades, the old house had become the subject of countless ghost stories, each more terrifying than the last. It was said that the previous owner, a reclusive and wealthy man named Thomas Whitlock, had vanished without a trace one stormy night, and ever since, the house had been cursed. Ella, a young and curious journalist, had always been fascinated by such tales. Her editor had assigned her to write a Halloween special, and Ella decided there was no better story than the one surrounding Raven Hill. Armed with a flashlight, a notepad, and a camera, she made her way to the house just as the sun began to set. As she approached the front door, it creaked open with a loud, mournful groan, as if unwilling to allow another soul to enter. The air inside was stale, and the darkness seemed to swallow the light from the flashlight. Determined to uncover the truth, Ella began to explore, her footsteps echoing through the empty halls. With each room she entered, an overwhelming sense of dread grew stronger. Portraits of the Whitlock family lined the walls, their eyes seeming to follow her every move. She thought she heard whispers, faint and indistinct, carried through the air, thence like ghostly sighs. In the grand library, Ella discovered an old diary tucked behind a row of dusty books. The pages were yellowed and brittle, but the writing was still legible. The diary belonged to Thomas Whitlock himself. As she read through his entries, her heart raced. Whitlock wrote of a dark presence in the house, something ancient and evil that had awoken after he conducted a series of arcane rituals in his quest for immortality. The final entry was a desperate plea for help, ending abruptly with the words, "It's here." Suddenly, the library door slammed shut, trapping Ella inside. She dropped the diary as a chilling laugh filled the room. The ghostly figure of Thomas Whitlock appeared, his eyes glowing with an unholy light. "Why have you come here?" he demanded in a voice that seemed to echo from the very walls. Terrified yet resolute, Ella stammered, "I wanted to know the truth." "The truth?" Whitlock sneered. "The truth is that this house is my prison, and now it shall be yours too." Ella felt an icy grip on her shoulder and screamed as the room darkened further, the walls closing in. Just as she felt herself slipping into unconsciousness, she awoke outside, the dawn breaking over Raven Hill. She scrambled to her feet, her notepad and camera nowhere to be found. Shaken, she realized she had to leave quickly, but as she turned to go, she saw the diary lying in the grass, open to a new, freshly written page. "Welcome to your new story." With trembling hands, she picked it up and fled, the weight of her discovery heavy on her mind. The house on Raven Hill still stood, an eternal sentinel of secrets better left undisturbed.